Hello and welcome to the Crookedrivercast, where we do our best to give you a look around at what's going on in Northeast Ohio. This is show number 5. I am your co-host, Robert, joined as always by Tom. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing well.
How was today? How was your coffee situation this morning? What are you drinking?
I got a full cup. I got of what do you mean, coffee?
Well, of what coffee though? Any specific kind? Do you have a preference?
You know, it's the Costco. I forget what it is, but it's from Costco.
Okay. Do you use the what method do you use to make your coffee?
I just have a Keurig.
Okay, I was going to see if you still have one of those. That's what I used to.
I don't know. My wife puts the coffee in our coffee holder, and I just pick one. So I don't pay much attention. I'm not a coffee snob.
No, yeah, it's true. But I do notice that I think my problem with coffee when I leave the house, it's not strong enough for me, so everything tastes weak and bland when I'm on the road or something. So,
do you you mean the coffee coming out of your Keurig?
No, when I'm not at home and I say go to McDonald's, which everybody says McDonald's has good coffee, which I used to agree with, but to me it's just bland. It's not strong enough because I like strong coffee apparently.
Yeah,
like dark coffee, I should say.
Yeah, you have to. I don't know what kind of roast that is. I'm not into
Probably
coffee that much to know the difference. I mean, I know the difference when I taste it, but I don't know the names. And
yeah, so if I grab a cup from home and I leave and I stop somewhere along the line and get another cup, it's like whoa. But I use Dark Magic.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's one of those Keurig cups.
Where's that coming from?
Green Mountain.
Oh, okay, Green Mountain.
Yeah.
Is that going to be tariff to hell?
I don't know. Where's it coming from? Everything's going to be tariff to hell, I guess. But I do want to bring up your tip from last week. Well, it wasn't really a tip, but I did check out Miss Jessica Simpson.
Oh, how did you like it?
I liked it. I thought it was from her past. I was not expecting that. And right, obviously you grow and she's an adult now and she's making her own decisions, it sounds like. And from some of the videos I saw, she, like a lot in the music industry, they're really boxed in and told what to do and what to sing and how to sing.
Yeah, I think her father was the her manager. So there was like a little bit of, I think he was a good manager for a while. But I don't know the complete history. I actually just started listening to her book, so I'm kind of curious on how that went.
I caught a bit of their behind the scenes, I think, on some of her videos. They're on YouTube, and they went over the, because she had such a great voice, or has such a great voice, they always told her the highest notes, belt it out and all this other stuff. And she's realizing she doesn't have to do that. She's got all these other abilities with her voice that they can do, working with the new producers, new people, and they have different ideas. It's pretty neat. But I will say one thing though. I have to say, why does she have to do that to her lips?
I don't know.
And how does she sing after she gets injected with that stuff?
I don't know.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's
you don't need to do that.
She's a nice looking lady. She doesn't need that. When I actually see her without all the makeup and stuff, I think she actually looks better. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's the I was like, I give her credit for being able to sing when she does that. But but yeah, it was pretty good. I like a couple of the songs really.
Yeah, there's out of the 5. I think there's 5 or 6. I forget. Yep. I would say there's 2 or 3 that I really, really like. And then there's the other ones I don't mind. I mean, they're just not my favorite.
I think it's her big single, which is Leave.
Oh, see, I like, I like Blame Me.
Blame Me is good. Yeah. I like that one.
I like.
But I like the emotion in Leave.
The production is so good on that.
Yeah, it gets me on that. They have that in that song. And then Leave, it's like, I don't know, there's a lot of emotion in it. Just kind of caught me.
Yeah.
She's really into the mic, and I mean, they kind of overmodulate her a little bit when she's getting really. It's pretty cool. So
yeah, it's really good stuff.
I can't.
I mean, it kind of hard.
I know. I'm like in the truck going, "What is going on here? I got the windows up. Is anyone around me?" but it's okay.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, like I went back and listened to her early stuff, and I was like, oh, this is kind of,
Oh,
it's
it's
not
Britney
something I
Spears
would.
stuff, kind of, right? Like
Pardon me?
it's very Britney
Yeah,
Spears stuff, right?
yeah, it was teeny bopper stuff. I mean, it was good. She is a good singer. I mean, you can't deny that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's just pop. It's
Yeah.
not my thing.
Yeah. It
But
wasn't. Yeah.
this new stuff is good. It's really good.
Yeah. So, I didn't really take too much of a look at your list this week. Very busy week. Oh, we got a lot of the same stuff
I think
as
we got some
usual.
of the same stuff.
I
I didn't.
thought, if you don't mind, we can start with a follow-up on a story from one of our first shows, which is a Cleveland court hack.
Yeah, go for it.
So, literally last night, I was going to start with this regardless, but the story came out, I think, yesterday, an update from News Channel 5 on what's going on. But I was literally, one of my stories today was going to be, why haven't we heard anything? It's been like a week and a half, and someone's holding the city of Cleveland for ransom. We haven't heard anything, but now we have. So we'll start it off with a clip, and then we'll give this a little update, which is kind of an update. So here we go.
Questions like whether it warned court.
Well, it helps if I start at the beginning of the clip, Tom. Hold on, here we go.
Why would anyone attack Cleveland Municipal Court?
That is the question.
Well, the thing with these ransomware gangs is they will really attack anyone.
The cyber attack in Cleveland was first discovered February 23rd and shut down the court for 2.5 weeks. Today, everything appeared back to normal, but the court still won't answer our questions, like whether it warned court workers and citizens their personal information appears to have been hacked.
I really do think there is a higher responsibility, for organizations that, have access to your data and you don't have a choice in it, to make sure that we're keeping it safe.
Alex Hammerstone is a local information security consultant. He and Graham say the court should be more upfront about how and why they were shut down.
Everybody knows the court has been hit by ransomware. It's time to put your hands up and say, yes, we have an active problem here. We are scurrying around trying to fix it. So openness, transparency is always the right way to respond, I believe.
And the guy's got a British accent, so it must be right. It must be right. So apparently, according to this group, called
Quillin, I think.
It's
I know it's Quillin, and I think I would pronounce that killing or killin.
Yeah, they pronounced it something similar to that. It's Quillin. It is Quillin, I think, but there's no U in there. So this group apparently has hacked all over the world. Most recently of note was UK Health Services. They hacked a blood testing and transfusion company, which shut down parts of the UK health system. Also, I believe they hacked the Ukrainian something or other now. Quillin, yeah, it's called Quillin. They did some kind of ransomware attack on something in Ukraine. Now, I thought I had it written down, but apparently I didn't. But I guess so that's kind of bears the question of why Cleveland. Basically, because they're vulnerable. I mean, they just go where it's easiest.
Yeah.
But still no word. Nothing. Virtually. I mean, News Channel 5 has gotten 0 comments from Cleveland. So it's as bad as we thought it was.
They were hacked last year too.
They were Cleveland's. I don't know if it was
the Cleveland court.
Was it the courts? I do remember reading that. But
Cleveland Municipal Court fit a broader pattern of cyber attacks on the U.S. municipal entities, with Cleveland itself facing a prior ransomware incident in June 24 that shuttered City Hall. It was City Hall.
City Hall. That's why I knew it was the same thing, basically. I mean, I'm sure it's a pretty similar system. The Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Oh, so they've done newspaper groups, Japanese Cancer Treatment Center, and the Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs this year alone they've hacked. And I guess maybe the good thing in all this is, so far, according to the hackers, the city of Cleveland has not paid the ransom. I think that is the only plus I can take away from this story, because at least they're not giving in to the demands and making it worse.
Yeah, I don't know how to handle how should this be handled. You got the Ohio National Guard and Ohio Cyber Reserve so far is assisting in this.
Yeah, the proper ways, I mean, from all the security experts, is usually do not negotiate with terrorists, because you could just consider these people are just some sort of terrorists, or, to that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, they're hackers. I mean,
yeah, and I mean, terrorists, obviously, maybe not terrorists, but almost like a kidnapper. You don't. They've got your information. The more you feed them with ransoms, the more they're going to do it. It just kind of shows them they can keep doing it. I had a incidents like this with some software at my employment and at my work, my employment, and they paid it. It wasn't my company. It wasn't our company. It was the company that we hire for part of some software that we use.
What happened after they paid it?
Everything, we were down a week and a half. And they paid it, and we got everything back.
But okay, so that allows them to, do it
but
again.
But that just shows them that it's worth doing it again. Just like spam is similar to. I mean, there's a reason there's still spam, is because it actually does pay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
the phishing emails and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. So that is still ongoing, and I guess they're up and running. And other than that, we don't know anything. So that is.
Well, I guess, it's good that they haven't paid. I'm just wondering if they're like getting anywhere with it. If there is a way to get anywhere with it.
If they found anywhere to, and I think the clickbait in this is they're saying they're Russian-based ransomware group, almost like a hired gun. So you can join these groups and become affiliated with them, and then you use some of their resources to hack, and then they get a cut of it.
Gotcha.
The ransomware group gets a cut of it, almost like freelancers. It's very lucrative, it sounds like. So that's kind of concerning, but I guess we'll have to keep an eye on it. And
I think they're going to just stay hush on that.
Yeah, let's look at it from a different way. Maybe that's good right now. Things are under investigation. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how much we're ever going to find out about that.
Right. So that's that was a kind of quick one that popped in yesterday. Where do you want to go next?
It's up to you. We got the Celebreeze building still, and the Ohio budget.
Yep, Ohio budget's a big one. Celebreeze building, that is.
Well, that is up for sale. It
is being sold. Yeah,
and it's also been confirmed. And I was right about 70%.
Okay, that's enough.
The government is the feds are going to be looking to lease space for the employees, that are there at the Celebreeze building. They are looking to sell it, and they're selling it because of the cost of renovation and everything.
Right.
But they do want to lease private space elsewhere. They're talking about the old Sherwin-Williams headquarters and the former Oswald Company's headquarters on 1100 Superior Avenue. And Sherwin-Williams is on 101 West Prospect. So they might be leasing space in both those places.
So they're going to totally move out of, or do they say they're
going to? Sounds like they're going to sell the building and lease somewhere else. Maybe they'll lease there short term and then move back in after it's renovated. Who knows? Depends. That'll be up to whoever buys it.
Chantel Brown calls it a slap in the face.
Yeah, it's not though. I mean, this is. They're overreacting. They're thinking they're losing all those employees downtown,
right?
But it's not anything. It's just business.
Yeah, it's called efficiency and not spending money that you don't need to spend. I mean,
yeah, and they won't need to take care of a building, which is
it should be an improvement too.
Which is what I kind of said last week. I figured they would sell it, somebody would, and they would lease it from whoever they sold it to, which I guess could still happen.
Yeah,
but
these times when companies are trying to get people to go back to work and actually show up in an office, this could be a plus because who wants to go downtown and you got to pay, you got to park, and you got to do all this other stuff. Now you got an old building, they're probably going to move into something newer. I mean,
yeah.
No, for the people who work there, it's probably going to be a plus in the long run.
It's a good move, for the federal government, and I don't see how it doesn't hurt Cleveland. So Chantel Brown could suck it.
I like it.
Justin Bibb is
lightweight.
Yeah.
Is that what we call him? Lightweight. Light roast.
I don't know. But that's the only thing that has come up, and it is going to be sold. I'm pretty certain of that.
Good, because it makes financial sense, and that's what's missing from all of every facet of government is what makes financial sense. Maybe tagging on to that is, speaking of financial sense, they are this levy season's coming up.
Oh, I haven't looked into this. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we'll just touch on this real quick because it does kind of have its tentacles all over the place because it's a budget issue. So it does also tie us into the state budget. So right now, according to Channel 3, voters in Northeast Ohio will decide on several school levies and bond issues in the May 6th primary election. Notable districts are Avon, Elyria, Wickliffe, Parma, Twinsburg, Ravenna, and I'm sure many more. These measures aim to fund, improvements, technology, textbooks, and so on. This also ties into the state budget, which they are. So they're saying they're cutting education funding in the current budget that's going through the state legislature.
All I see.
Right. But what's really happening?
Oh, I know what's really happening.
They are asking for a $660 million increase from last year, and they're giving them $226 million.
Yeah, so there's no tax cut. There's no tax cut. There's no cut in funding. It's just
the increase. They
wanted.
They didn't cut anything. They just didn't give them as much as they're asking for.
Yeah, they're getting a $226 million
increase.
And here's I don't know if you heard this, but it also caps the school district carryover funds at 25%.
Yes,
because the schools are like over. They got more money than they know what to do.
Got a lot of COVID money probably still there. I would assume. So yeah, they're going to maybe lower the money they're going to get from the state so they can pull from their reserves. So
these schools have just been carrying over budget money for years, and they're overfunded right now. So it caps it at 25%. They can carry over 25% from the previous year, which it should. Will it? I don't know, but it should reduce property taxes. Yes. Well, yes, because they, they have the money sitting, and if they've got more than 25% of their, so it's 25% of what you spent last year or of your budget or something like that. If you have more than 25% reserves, then they're going to maybe lower that. So as a city, if you're asking for a levy and you've got 25%, more than 25% of your last year's budget sitting in the bank, that's a problem. Yep. So good on them for doing that. So, but this has just gone through the Senate so far in Ohio, I think, right? Yeah, it's still going through. There's actually still two bills. There's a Senate bill and a House bill, and right. I believe the House bill just cut all of DeWine's taxes that he wanted to put on there. Yep. And so I wanted to say, before we go too far away from the local levies, to give people an idea. So let's say a $6 million levy, 6.9 mil levy in a city over 10 years is a cost to the homeowner of $20.13 per month per $100,000. So if you have a house that you bought 15 or 20 years ago and it's now worth $300,000,
That's $60 some a month. Can we do the quick math? More than $600 a year. You'd be paying more on.
That's over $700 a year.
Yeah, for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a little bit of money. So what else
and in those 10 years they'll be asking for another. There will be another levy. So,
and
be wise, people.
Yeah, I get we want education, but let's just take some comparison to the private school. There are some private schools that have buildings over 100 years old, and they still educate just fine there. You can just still educate your kid in an old school.
But Rob, do they have air conditioning?
Probably not. But where?
I'm laughing because I heard a neighbor say, "Oh yeah, our school needs updating because it doesn't have air conditioning." And I'm like, I didn't have air conditioning, and there's really only a few weeks out of the year, or I shouldn't even say a few weeks,
not even
a few days that maybe I remember when I was going to school, it would have been nice. So
yeah, and I knew there were schools in our district that were newer that had air conditioning. I do remember this because the air conditioning would break and they would get off school because their windows didn't open because it was built for air conditioning. So we were kind of pissed about that. I almost rioted one. No, we didn't. But so what else in the state budget? Did you see anything? Because they're also claiming that you're giving money to the Browns or sports teams, but you're not going to give money, but you're cutting funding again, cutting funding. They're not portraying it accurately.
Everybody's
honestly.
getting more.
But one of the things they're pushing back on, at least the media, is this Browns moving, and that the fact that they want to issue $600 million in bonds, but they don't want to give more money to schools. But just so we're clear, the state would be issuing bonds, which is a loan. Mm-hmm. The state, and one of the reasons that the Browns are asking for it is because the state gets really good interest rates because they have good credit. So the bonds, it's a loan. It's not coming out of the general fund,
right?
And the loan will be paid back with interest plus, is what the Browns are saying.
It's part of the budget, but it's not an increase in taxes.
Yeah, it doesn't come out of the taxpayer. It doesn't come out of the general fund. And
the only thing I saw in this budget, besides that and the school funding, which, the news is, our local news is twisting that. There's expands private school vouchers through unregulated education savings accounts. I guess they're going to allocate $1 billion to this initiative. So that's drawing criticism from public education advocates. So I think that's like a school choice thing, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. So it's, which I think is good.
Yes, and available to everybody. In the past, it was only available to those who didn't have the means to send your kids to school. So it was more of a entitlement program, or not entitlement, but that's more like a program for the less fortunate. Let's put it that way. And now they've expanded it to everywhere, and they want to give more money to it because.
So tell me how that works. So like, let's say I have kids and I live in a district where the school isn't the greatest. Mm-hmm. So I can ask for money to send them to a private school, basically.
So you file paperwork with the state, give them your financial information, and they determine how much you're going to get, up to, I believe it's like $6,000 for elementary and $9,000 or $10,000 for high school, private schools.
Okay.
So if you are a parent in a crappy school district and you have the ability to take your kid to a school, like transport them,
right?
You could take your kid almost anywhere.
Yeah, that's
for
awesome.
Very little, if nothing. And the more money you make, they will give you less. But I think almost at every level you get at least like $1,000 or something like that, even
Right.
if you're at
So,
the max.
yeah, you could send your kid to a good school.
And in the past, if you were in a really bad school district and you didn't have the means to take your kid, you could have done this for years. So the ability to get your kid out of the Cleveland school system is there, or whatever school system that you know. But the one that's probably one of the worst in the state, at least in our area, is Cleveland School District. And if you wanted to make the sacrifice and willing to dig a little bit, you could have done this for years.
Right.
They just now opened it up last couple of years to everybody. And people are complaining about it because, again, they're quote unquote cutting school funding.
Yeah, they're not cutting school funding. They're actually creating competition between schools, which should improve public schools. But will it?
So as onto that, I guess this wasn't really. I was reading this story; it really wasn't on my list, but we can go over it real quick since it's on the same thing as school performance and funding and so on. So there's a bill, SB 127, that is being proposed in state legislature, which will put some pretty, I guess, punishments on school districts who don't fall above a certain threshold. And so there's proponents to this. There's people who think it's good. People say it's good. So it defines a poor performing school as a school district operated community, or STEM, serving grades 4 and older, that has performed in the bottom 5% among public schools based on its performance index score consecutively for 3 years. All right. So and is at the bottom 10% based on its value add progress for 3 consecutive years. What they will do is give the schools the option of closing or having the state bring in, I think closing the school is obviously the extreme option, or removing principals and vice principals and a certain percentage of your educated staff, I think they call it, or the teachers basically. And people are saying this is going to disrupt schools. And I'm saying, how's it working for you so far? Because maybe a different outlook or different set of eyes, or whatever I'm trying to say here. But
more money, come on.
Yeah, more money is always that's what they want.
That's the cure.
And people are saying proposes a heavy-handed and overreaching state approach to local schools that receive low ratings on state report cards. The impact. This is Scott Demaro. I am so horrible with names. The impact of the actions compelled by SB 127 would harm students and communities. The harsh measures required by the bill ignore mitigating factors, forcing districts to make counterproductive decisions that could harm well-functioning schools. So you would have to be in the bottom 5% in one study or one performance index score for 3 straight years, and at the bottom 10% of another value added progress study, or whatever they call it, for 3 consecutive years. That is not a well-functioning school.
No, it's
so. Community Senate Education Committee Chair Andrew Brenner, Republican, Delaware County, introduced the bill last month. And no one has submitted support testimony for the bill yet. So I guess it's just in its infancy stages. But so there's a lot of stuff going on with funding. So pay attention to what's going on, because things are changing, as they say.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Anything with the? I'm just going to say there's no new taxes increases on tobacco, marijuana, or sport betting, which is different from the DeWine's plan.
Right, which I think that's the House bill, I think, or because I think the Senate bill has it in it, maybe something like that.
I'll tell you the truth. I don't know.
I did read that the House has a bill that the House plan cut DeWine's tax increases on that stuff. I'm not sure if the Senate side did either.
Right. Yeah, no, it's still going through its process. This is the latest one, basically. It also eliminates associated tax credit programs tied to those increases. So, and the other social policies, the bill includes provisions stating that there are only two sexes recognized in Ohio, and
Good.
prohibits the Department of Medicaid from funding diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. There is additional funding for veteran programs, 10 million child care cost sharing pilot, which is a 20% state contribution, but it scraps initiatives like child tax credit and full funding for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which I didn't even know about.
Oh, he can't be doing that to Dolly. Jeez, what are they trying to do?
Well, it's probably a cool thing, but why are we funding it?
Yes, good point. But I mean, yeah. Okay, so that's good. I mean, so no tax increases so far. Definitely nothing income tax or anything, but there still might be a possible sin tax increase. I guess you would call it gambling, and it's gambling, marijuana, and tobacco.
That's from DeWine's side.
Right.
That's what he wants.
Right.
So, I don't think that's going to pass.
No.
I think this is.
Probably.
I think this is kind of like the. This is the stronger version of the bills.
Okay.
That
has
are
more
out
support.
There. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's going with what, they're still going to ride that what's popular right now with people is
fiscal
Ohio,
responsibility.
Yep. So I think it's a good thing. So we'll see.
All right. And since we're kind of still touching on schools real quick, I will drop this in there. Ohio lawmakers are again pushing for parental consent apps. So a new bill in Ohio Senate will require social media companies to verify a user's age and obtain parental consent before allowing users under 16 to download apps. Bill aims to protect children and teens from potential harm, which I get.
How realistic is that?
How can you do that? And the one quote which kind of made me pull the story was no clips, but a quote from, I think this is Michelle Reynolds, Republican from Canal Windsor. For too long, we've placed the burden on parents to somehow monitor their children's activities across a complex digital landscape.
What,
expecting
to do their job?
Yes, thank you. expecting each app developer to have their own verification system. This bill represents a better path forward.
It's just
crap.
Intrusion.
That's you justifying your job. That's what that is.
Yeah, this is
parents you can't. How can you do that?
Parents need to be parents, and all kids are.
I have kids. I have teenagers, or a teenager, and this is a big issue for me and my wife, and it's hard. It's very hard. Yeah. You got to balance it, but you have to be pretty vigilant, and you kind of got to be nosy. That's just the way it is.
It is that way, and each child is different. It's not like a bill's not going to do anything.
A bill's not going to do anything, and the social media companies, the tech companies, there's not a whole lot they can do. There is one thing though: a digital ID. That would solve it all.
Oh yeah, okay.
Not saying that's what this is going towards.
Yeah, but it is a step towards it, right?
It would solve it. And if you have enough of these bills that are in there, and they're going to say we can't do anything, it's for the children,
right?
And that's how they usually get you. But this is the second time. They introduced a bill back in 2020, January of 24 last year, for the same for under 16, but it was blocked in the courts and is currently still under injunction. There's a company called Net Choice, a trade group representing apps like Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So they sued to stop this, and they won an injunction that is currently continues and stands in the court. Because the judge noted that these companies would face significant costs So here I am. I'm on either side of this. Like, okay, so you're complaining this may cost you too much. Let's see your revenue statements. Can you take a look at how many billions you guys are making?
Yeah.
I do have some sympathy because there's not a whole lot they can do.
No,
and it's so easy to get around. So, is that good? You good on all that?
Yeah.
All right. I think I want to start, or I want to go on to FirstEnergy is asking for rate hikes.
I did not read into this because I figured you had some inside info on this.
Yes. So I figured, so the story is FirstEnergy is asking for rate hikes. So in case anyone's not aware, FirstEnergy, privately held company or publicly held company, but a private company, not a government entity in any way, has to ask permission to increase the rates because they are a monopoly, basically. There's no other option for energy in most areas around the country, I think. And at least for transmission and that sort of stuff. So they have to ask for an increase whenever they have to ask for from the PUCO, which I just wrote down. Here's Public Utilities Commissions of Ohio is the PUCO.
So to do an increase, they have to ask permission for that.
Yes, because they're the only because I guess that's how you get around monopolies. Except I figured,
why don't cable companies do the same thing?
Why don't they do what?
Why don't they have to ask for?
Because you can go to, it's not as regulated. You can they were forced years ago to lease their lines to other companies.
I guess it's not something you have to have, right?
True, and there is competition out there. You can go to different providers who use the same lines as AT&T does, for example.
Right. Okay.
They lease them at a bulk rate, and then they pass on to you. I've looked into it over the years, and you could save a little bit, but
yeah, it's never really worth it. Sorry, I threw you off here.
No, you didn't. No, it's good. It's a good question because, and it's a little bit different because, well, it's not actually different. AT&T owns the lines. That's part of the issue. Is they put the money in to put the lines in. It's a government monopoly, at least in my local districts, as far as the cable companies go. But it's similar to this. It does resemble. They do resemble each other. But I figured we could take a step back because also in the story they bring up how we got here. So I'm asking, there's many reasons why FirstEnergy could be asking for a rate hike. Everything's going up in price. Labor rates, they got to repair stuff. Everything's going up. But also could be, if we remember back in 2019, I think Speaker of the House at the time, Larry Householder, was investigated and charged and convicted of bribery, taking, I think they say it's $60 million in bribes to give FirstEnergy $1 billion bailout, which was HB6. So HB6 had a couple things in it. One of them was had a couple of fees that were instituted because of that bill. One of them was I think it was $1 or something a month to pay for the decommissioning of the nuke plants in Ohio.
Right, I kind of remember that.
So the federal government increased the standards, and FirstEnergy says it wasn't worth it. They're going to decommission them, but they didn't want to pay for it. So some Republicans were bribed to get this bill in. Now that part of the bill has been repealed, the corrupt part of the bill, but still in that bill is about $100 and some million a year in fees for coal plants in Ohio, in the Ohio Valley, that are not profitable, which I immediately think, you guys set the price. How are they not profitable? But again, they can't set the price because they have to ask for permission, which then we have bribery. So that's about, depending on where you are, it's like $1.30 to $1.50 per month. That is currently still on your bill from that HB6. So they are currently trying to repeal that as well. So this, I think, would also tie into why FirstEnergy is asking for an increase, because they're about to lose this extra funding. What's that?
They're about to lose that.
Yep. And I'm sure costs are going up for everything. Even with this extra, they're saying $190 million in charges in increased charges, they still lost $100 million. The company.
The company lost $100 million.
It's unclear. They kept saying that, and I read it twice or heard it in the report I was listening to, and I couldn't dig in. I couldn't find what they actually meant, but it. So it, in increasing any of your power bill, everybody kind of freaks out, which I understand why. Gas has gone up, phone bills go up. But some of these people on the office of, so it's Maureen Willis on the Office of Consumer Counsel. Is saying no, they don't need a $990 million increase. They need to they need to take a haircut. We need a decrease in power bills. I say, okay, I don't see how you're going to justify that with all the pricing and everything going up, inflation over the last 5 years, all that stuff. I'm not sure what they need if they need a haircut.
I don't know how you can decrease power bills.
Yeah,
I mean, you could hopefully manage them so they don't go up too much, but.
So the OCC, this Office of Consumer Counsel, is estimating that the Cleveland Illuminating Company, so that's the power company for mainly downtown, will see an increase of $13 per month. Ohio Edison would have a $3 a month spike, and Toledo Edison would be a $1.50 spike. So you could be going down $1.30 to $1.50 a month, but it's probably just going to get put back on there.
Right.
So keep an eye on your electric bill. It may be changing a little bit, but just to touch back, because
how much do you think that's really going to affect your monthly?
Well, it says here is if they decrease it, I mean, if they eliminate that,
right?
So if they eliminate it, it would be they're saying between $1.30 and $1.50 per month.
Yeah, so I'm not really going to notice that.
No, you will notice one or two less. Because there's a long list of fees and taxes and stuff on your bill.
Yeah, I mean, how many people really go through that?
You don't. It just infuriates you because it's so generic. It seems like a scam because it probably is in some way.
Well, I look at that and it makes me want to throw up.
Well, we see that one of those was this corrupt HB6 for the nuke plants that was added to it. So when you look on your phone bill and everything else, and it has transmission fee, you're like, what? So, but if they get this $190 million increase passed, then they're saying Cleveland Illuminating Company customers may see a 13% increase.
Right.
In Ohio Edison, a $3, and Toledo, $1.50. So it's probably going to be a wash. If not, it's still going to go up.
Right.
Hold on. Malfunction. Give me 1 second. I lost my ears.
You lost your ears. Put them back on.
Stand by. Technical difficulties. I'm good. I just unplugged my headphones and couldn't hear.
What were they wrapped around your leg?
Yeah, I moved my arm and it just pulled it out. I'm like an idiot. Okay, we're live here, people. Nothing gets cut. We'll do it in post, as they always say. So yeah, watch your electric bills. They may be going up and down.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, here's a study. A study commissioned by the Ohio Manufacturers Association found in 2024 alone, these subsidies cost taxpayers or ratepayers, roughly $200 million. The company lost more than $100 million the same year. So consumers are paying for plants that aren't profitable. I still don't understand how that can be.
I don't either. That makes no sense to me. But.
I mean, they weren't profitable, so they asked for these fees to be put on because they don't want to shut the plants down because they need the power generation.
Right.
So this is part of the problem with A, a monopoly, and B, being so heavily regulated. It's
overly regulated, I'd assume.
So keep an eye on that, folks. Next on the list, we got levies, got the bond issues, did some Celebreeze stuff. Fluoride?
Go for it.
So there is a bill in the Ohio Senate.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize there was a bill. I thought it was just being tossed around.
Yep, it's a new bill in Ohio Senate. We require wrong bill. Republican lawmakers in Ohio are pushing a bill to ban fluoride in drinking water, citing potential toxicity and wastefulness. However, dentists argue that fluoride is crucial to preventing cavity and tooth decay. So I do have a clip.
Go for it.
From Fox 8, and has some Well, you'll see. Just a couple of some information and.
Oh, I got the same one. Okay, go for it.
Okay.
Communities and
I did it again. I started right in the middle of the clip. Oh,
efforts to remove fluoride from Ohio's water systems are concerning because they put people, especially children and those in lower income communities and seniors, at a greater risk for preventable dental disease.
Dr. Suparna Aregakar Mahalaha is an assistant professor at Case Western's School of Dental Medicine. She is speaking out against Ohio House Bill 132. The bill would ban the state and public water systems from adding fluoride, which prevents cavities and tooth decay, saying the mineral is potentially toxic and wasteful.
This is not really necessarily about fluoride, in my opinion. It's about people having the choice to choose what type of things they're ingesting and not being forced on them by the government or by their neighbor.
State Representative Levi Dean is a co-sponsor of the bill.
So there is a bill. Levi Dean is the co-sponsor. Let's do this one more. I got one more clip on the part of it. See what they have to say. Whoop. There we go. There you go.
Some dentists say the risks of a fluoride ban are too high and are hoping the bill gets flushed.
Without it, we could see an increase in cavities, dental infections, and long-term health complications.
Hey, what did she say?
That come along with poor. See an increase. We could see an increase in cavities, dental infections, and long-term health complications. That come along with poor oral health, unfortunately.
In Cleveland, Jennifer Jordan, Fox 8 News.
That's too high of a risk, Rob. That's too high of a risk.
It is. I'm not sure if people are aware, but you can put fluoride in your own water if you want.
Or
I currently take it out.
Your mouth. You don't have to drink fluoride.
Right. You can put it in your toothpaste. It is in a lot of toothpastes, which is kind of, when you have a toothpaste that has fluoride in it and it has a warning that says do not swallow, but yet all of the water that you drink has fluoride in it.
Right.
And he did bring out later in the clip, later in the interview, he's like, it's not being applied to your teeth. It's not like a topical cream that you're putting on your teeth. You're just drinking it and you're swallowing it. What is fluoride in your stomach going to do for your teeth? So
it doesn't.
What's your opinion?
What's my opinion? It shouldn't be in the water.
Yeah,
is my opinion. If you brush your teeth well, you don't need fluoride. And if you do want to use fluoride for your teeth, all you need to do is rinse your teeth,
right?
Or rinse your mouth with fluoridated water. You don't need to have it in public, in the public system,
in a mass. And people will. There's studies, and even the doctor. Well, all the cavities, and we've had a reduction in this, and it's supposed to be the greatest. What do they call it? Greatest health policy in the last 100 years, putting fluoride in the water. But right around the same time, if you look at the data, as dental health became a thing in toothpaste, advantages in technology and brushes and toothpaste happened around the same time. So you really can't definitively say drinking a bunch of fluoride helps your teeth not get cavities. It's probably more just an awareness of dental health starting up about the same time as they started putting that in the water. But you can get toothpaste with fluoride in it. And when you go to the dentist and they put fluoride on your teeth, they tell you not to swallow, spit it out. Because it's not good for you.
What about the underprivileged?
But the children and the old people. Wait, they're old. Their teeth are already falling out. They're kind of past that point, aren't they? But they still have to drink fluoride.
I think this is just a way to use fluoride.
A byproduct of something.
It's a byproduct of fertilizer mostly.
Yep. And
by the way, Ohio's level of fluoride is 0.8 to 1.3 milligrams per liter. The safe level is 0.7 to 1.2. So we're actually on a little higher level here in Ohio. I guess within the safe limits. Well, not in the safe limits, but the safe limits are 0.7 to 1.2, and we're 0.8 to 1.3. So
yeah, so
we're a little out of range. So we may have a little bit too much fluoride in our water, and there are studies that fluoride reduces IQ.
Yep, there are some correlating studies, they would probably call them, just to be fair. I guess
there's
it's hard to get, but they can compare cities that don't have fluoride to cities that do. And time again, usually the IQ levels are lower.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what I found too, but there's like no conclusive correlation, I guess, but that's enough for me.
It's enough for me, especially now in this time, because so many of these studies are dictated by who's paying for them. And if you can't get anybody to pay for them, the study doesn't happen. And that's kind of how it's been that way for a while. And usually the people who pay for studies want them to come out a certain way. So I think that's as close as we're going to get, because there's a lot of money. I've always come back to thinking that right around that time that they started putting fluoride in the water, it's in the 70s, maybe. I could be wrong. I think that's around it.
It was later.
So maybe a little bit delayed action after EPA started cracking down on dumping into the rivers, and now you have to dispose of your chemical waste.
Yeah.
So now you find another industry and you make everybody believe or put out studies that say this can help. And
the way I see it, they have to do something with it. It would cost them money to dispose of it. So
right. Yep. Now people buy it from them.
Yep. I don't think they make a ton of money from this, but I do. I think it saves them a lot of money.
Saves them a ton of money.
Yep.
A ton of money. And directly has, again, riding the wave of MAHA, Make America Healthy Again.
Yeah, this is following Robert Kennedy Jr. His
that's one of the things he's been railing on.
He's going to go after the fluoride. He's going after the food additives. I think he's also going to go after the seed oils too. So I actually. So far we've had locally. Well, they're not local. We have them here, but what was the burger joint?
A Steak and Shake. Yeah, Steak and Shake.
They've changed their fry oil to tallow, and we don't have any. I wish we did, but that famous one in California. What's
Whataburger?
Pardon?
In-N-Out
has gone to tallow also, which is a big deal.
You think it costs them more or less to go to tallow? I wonder.
I probably a little bit more.
I would initially think more, but then I would think, because tallow is so out of favor now, maybe not. I don't know.
I think it costs more now, but I think the more restaurants that do it, it'll become cheaper. And it's a selling point right now. California, you got the Steak and Shake is really riding the MAHA movement in their social media, and In-N-Out. I haven't seen any of their social media, but I think they're just being in California. You got a lot of health advocates out there. So even as commie as California is, it's there are health conscious people out there. And
and if you can get to some of them and explain to them just a little bit about seed oils, it won't take long to open their eyes. If you just the manufacturing of seed oils would blow them away, and what they have to do to make them edible.
It's gross. Yeah.
But not to get too deep down in there. I mean, unless you got something else.
No, that's it.
I'm very curious about these public restrooms. I figured we switch it to a little bit lighter before we go back to a couple of things I have.
They are called Portland Loos.
Yes.
And they started
I know nothing about this, so let me. What are they?
Okay, so they're public restrooms. They're Cleveland bought 4 of them, and they're built out of steel. And they're placing them here. Let me get the info here.
Yeah, sorry to drop that on you like that.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yes. They're outdoor.
They're outdoor Loos, and they started here in Cleveland. They started in Portland mainly for the unhoused. Let's call them unhoused people, because to keep people from unhoused from defecating on the streets. So they got these public restrooms that they built. They're totally made out of steel. They got louvers on the top, and on the bottom it's open, so you could see when somebody's in the restroom. You could see their feet, and they're kind of cool as far as like they're graffiti proof, so they're easy to clean.
I just saw the price.
Pardon me?
I just saw the price.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to that. Sorry. They're clean. They're easy to clean, so they're easy to maintain.
Probably all stainless or aluminum.
They're all stainless, and so as far as like vandalism and stuff, they're pretty vandal proof, I guess you could say.
Yeah. At least graffiti.
And we're putting. They started in Portland. San Diego has a bunch. I think there's some in San Antonio, and mainly they're for the bums, for the homeless. But they do put them in some parks, so here in Cleveland, we're going to put one at Payne Avenue and East 117th, or East 17th and Payne Avenue, outside the Virgil E. Brown Neighborhood Family Center, which is a homeless shelter and camps. So then we're getting another one in Perk Plaza, which is East 12th and Chester. And that one's going to be city-owned, placed in the city-owned park. And then we're getting 2 Canal Basin Park, which is Flats East Bank, which I think is going to be more for the, they're kind of planning on making there's an effort there to redevelop it into a park system.
So for drunk people, in the flats.
Yes, it's going to be for that. There are bums down there, so I don't want to be harsh there, but there's unhoused,
homeless. Whatever.
So there's the homeless there, but they're kind of selling it as a thing for that the park is going to need, which it probably could use some public restrooms if there's ever a real park down there.
Okay.
Okay, so cost. They're $145,000 each, and that does not include installation. $580,000 for all 4 of them, and so they still need to be connected to the water and sewer lines.
That's another $50,000 each.
At least, I would say at least, and ongoing maintenance, which is, I kind of looked up what other cities are paying. They're paying about $20,000 a piece a year for maintenance. They get cleaned 3 times a day, and they are. In Cleveland, they're going to start with it being open at 7 a.m. and closed. I think they were saying, let's see, I think 10 p.m. they were closing them up.
What do you have to poop at night, Tom?
Well, for now they're doing that just to,
So let me just, so they want to spend, let's say $200,000 per bathroom before they hook it up. No, you say with hookup before maintenance.
Yep.
Let's say $200,000. First of all, they bought these, and 3 years ago they've been sitting in the garage in Cuyahoga County. It says that right here.
Yep.
So they want to spend $200,000 per loo, plus whatever it costs to maintain them every year.
Why are we calling them Loos, by the way?
I'm sorry.
We're not in Australia, people.
I like they call it the local Loos.
It's a Portland shitter. Come on.
It's a shitter. So that's $1 million, roughly, and they're going to buy more.
Yep.
How about fix the homeless problem?
So, well, you can't do that.
Oh, okay.
You can't fix the homeless problem because then you don't need the departments the departments that help fix the problem will be gone, and all those people lose their jobs. So there's no
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no way to. There's no reason to fix them.
Yeah, there's no
incentive
to fix the problem. Just continue going like everything else. Just make it worse and make it more inviting for the homeless to be here, because it's worked everywhere else.
Yeah, this was brought to our to Cleveland's attention by a professor from some college, because during COVID, because he started all the places were closed and there was no place for people to use the bathroom. And gosh darn it, I lost the person's name.
Well,
they should be fired. And
I would also like to add a kicker to this and say,
Mark Lamon.
He's what now? What's Mark Lamon?
Advocates like Mark Lamon are of Campus District.
Stainless. All these prices, put another 20% on them, because stainless just went up. So the new ones they buy will probably be $200,000 a piece, $175,000 a piece plus the hookup.
But this was paid for by the CARES Act funds.
Oh,
yeah. You know where that money came from?
That was Biden administration's.
Yep.
That was supposed to be global warming bill.
COVID.
The COVID Act. That was the one.
COVID Act.
That's right.
Funding.
That's where they got some of the money. The county got some. That's the same money the county was using to buy the property for the new jail.
So, people were asking if this is tax dollar money, and they were like, "No, this is paid for by funds, CARE Act funds." It's like, no, it's tax dollars, you idiots. So it's not maybe not city tax dollars, but it is still tax dollars.
Right. So I saw this and I saw the pictures, and I'm like, I gotta figure out what is this. And while we're on something of the lighter side, what is going on? And we skipped this last week, and I don't want to leave it to the end. What's going on with the music scene? You got some stories about Cuyahoga County launching some live music.
Oh man, we're jumping around here.
I'm sorry. Where do you want to go? If you want to wait on that, it's fine. I can go on something else.
No, I just kind of want.
I can go on the Cuyahoga County Jail Fight Club if you want.
I just kind of wanted to. Oh, okay. I just wanted to kind of mention, like, who's going to use these Loos? Besides,
go ahead,
besides the homeless, the
pull me back, Tom. Thank you.
I mean, would you go into that bathroom if you just saw an unhoused person coming out of there? I'm a guy. I might go in there, but there's no urinals. It's just one toilet.
I'd be more comfortable going to the bush behind this picture.
Exactly.
Because then nobody would know I was there. And the last thing I want, it's just nobody, obviously people are listening, can't see the picture I'm looking at it's this metal stainless steel structure, just sitting on the sidewalk in front of a building.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like people would just walk right past you while you're, doing your
thing. They
can
hear whatever you're doing.
You're doing in there. It's like, it's worse than a porta potty.
That is the reason they left it open like that, is so to keep people from doing drugs in there. And
but it's worse than a porta potty.
But in Portland and other cities, they were having issues with prostitution and drug use in those. So we'll see how it goes here.
Get out of here.
Anyways, I just kind of want to touch that, because I'm like sitting here and going, I don't know a single woman that would use that.
No way.
And they were talking about they want it for events. And I'm like, you got one or two of these for a large event. I think you're going to need some porta potties. So no, don't give me that bullshit.
No woman. I'm not going to use it.
Yeah,
I'd rather crap my pants, I think, than use that.
I'll hold it. If I can't hold it, I'll find a tree.
Yeah, a bush or tree, something. Yeah. All right. So.
Okay, so we got Cleveland, or I should say Cuyahoga Live going on here, and this is they're putting together a live music task force in Cuyahoga to help build a music scene, which is kind of cool. It's not costing any money. This is just a task force so far. So they've put together the let's see, that this is Cindy Barber, who is a part owner of the gosh darn it, what is the she's an owner of Beachland Ballroom, which is a live venue place in, I think that's in like near 152nd, East 152nd. And then the guy who owns the a bar in Lakewood, and I forget the name of it. It's hot dog place.
Okay.
I forget the name of it. But anyways, it's kind of cool what they're trying to build here. I just don't know if it's going to work. You want me to play a clip?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, okay.
Cleveland is known as the birthplace of rock and roll, and industry advocates will tell you Northeast Ohio is still home to one of the most active music scenes in the country.
Now musicians, venues, and others are collaborating to strengthen that scene. News 5's Catherine Ross explains how a new task force in Cuyahoga County is drumming up support.
The red letters near the lakefront make for an iconic photo op for newcomers.
They had brought me when we were much younger on like a family trip to come see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And locals alike.
It's actually, lived up to its reputation.
Cleveland's musical reputation and the Rock Hall even have international appeal.
We went here to visit the city, and it's a chance to know the Rock and Roll Museum.
A lot of people know Cleveland as the home of rock and roll, but Northeast Ohio is also home to a thriving local music scene. Now, a new task force here in Cuyahoga County aims to support and invest in that scene.
Cleveland is a music city already. Other cities have music commissions or music offices, and it's time Cleveland stepped in.
Sean Watterson is the co-owner of Gordon Square's Happy Dog. He's also one of the first members of the newly launched Music and Entertainment Task Force, Cuyahoga Live.
This is just sort of recognizing assets that we already have and then trying to make better use of them, take better advantage of it, and support the people who are in that ecosystem.
Happy Dog is one of many independent venues throughout the county. During the pandemic, many of them banded together to support each other and entertainers. And other groups like nonprofit Cleveland Rocks, Past, Present, and Future are doing their own work to invest in local talent and connect them with a network of resources.
There's already so much going on here that it should be really easy to put all the pieces together.
Nonprofit director and co-owner of the Beachland Ballroom, Cindy Barber, tells us the task force is the first step towards creating a music commission. A Greater Cleveland Music Census found 3/4 of those surveyed believe a commission could help with the advocacy and promotion of the industry. Advocates say the county-led initiative would be an economic investment in workforce development.
Could be this whole good infrastructure that would provide jobs.
And a cultural investment in an iconic part of Northeast Ohio.
All right.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, for the people that heard that and are curious about this, if you have Spotify, Cleveland Magazine has a playlist. It's called Cleveland Current. And they kind of put a top 20 of local Cleveland artists. Go on there.
Yeah, I'm
Tell me
down.
if you need this.
Cleveland Current.
And I don't want to bust on this because this could be a good thing for the future. I just think it's kind of wasteful at this point. I don't know how to say this, but I don't want to rip on anybody. But with the talent pool in Cleveland is small.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we can. I'm not saying, I'm not calling your favorite local band a bad band. I'm just saying the talent pool as far as recording artists and people that can actually put a record together, that can produce an album, that can. You don't have enough musicians here locally to. I should say like collaborate with to record with and to help recording artists put together an album. You just don't have that.
Anybody worth their weight in the music industry is not here. They're in Nashville.
Yeah, right? No, we have some really good players here that have made a living playing. We do have that. We just don't have enough of them.
Yeah,
most of them have left for New York, for Nashville,
LA.
For LA, and Atlanta. We've had some really good players here. The Black Keys came up in the early 2000s, but they moved to Nashville because if you're going to put an album together, you have to have players to help you do this. We all think our favorite bands go into the studio and play their own instruments on there, and they may to some extent, but there's probably 10 more players on that album that you don't even know about.
producers
that help them record. And it's all based on money, because I'm not saying your favorite band, that guitar player can't do those parts, but can he do those parts quickly and efficiently?
Yep.
Because time is money in a studio.
And do major changes in the middle of a recording session that's what they do all day, every day. They're used to it, and it makes sense. And those people are not here pretty much.
Studio guys are just so used to just going in and just nailing it on a couple of takes. And the other reason you want more players is to collaborate with. Somebody else might hear something and go, no, this will be really cool here, and that's how you build a song. And we just don't have that in Ohio. I hope that this commission or this task force,
it's a start of something, at least. I hope
encourages live music, because as a musician here in Ohio, I realized something early on when I started gigging when I was 19 professionally, and Ohio or Clevelanders, I should say, and maybe it's a little different in college towns, but they want to hear their favorite songs. They don't necessarily want to hear originals. So I do hope they can build a live music culture here that
build it back. Which is what we need to do, right?
Pardon me?
Feels like we need to build it back.
Well,
it used to be here.
We lost a lot of it, but it was never. It was never in the late 80s and the early 90s. There was a pretty good scene, but it was a good working scene for like cover bands, and the original acts did have venues, which we lack now. We don't have the same venues,
especially the smaller medium venues.
Yeah. And you know what? It would be cool, which I haven't heard anybody mention, but it would, like where the Beachland Ballroom is or where the Happy Dog is. It would be cool. Or there's a couple places in Lakewood that you could do this, or in Cleveland. It would be awesome downtown if you could do this, maybe, and actually generate some excitement about the nightlife down there, is to have like a street where you have 5 or 6 clubs, where at least four nights a week, you're having, starting from dinner to let's be adults here. Let's go to 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
You have live music the entire time. I don't know if we have enough talent to do that here at this time, but it could start small.
You got to start somewhere. Yeah.
If I want to go see original acts, I'm not going to go see one band. I want to go see a couple of bands. So, and it would be kind of cool. Hey, I'll stop here, have a beer, listen to this band, play a couple of tunes, and I'll go next door to hear another artist perform their stuff. So I just don't know if we have that here, that culture. If they can build it, that would be incredible. I just, this is you're going up a creek right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did that one time on vacation in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, Austin's a great place for that.
We actually did it early enough that there was no covers yet on the bars.
Right.
So we hopped in 4 or 5, 6 bars, had a drink here, 2 drinks there, depending on the music. And then we started hitting $20 covers, and I'm like, I had enough. I can't do this. Can't do this 10 times with a $20 cover. $20.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think in Nashville, you got your Broadway over there, and there's another area where they got music from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And bands play from 10 to 2, 2 to 6, 6 to 10, and 10 to 2. And, musicians are working all day long. Now those aren't original acts. So, so, those are just bands playing for people that want to party and have fun. But they do have their original artists there also playing, but they're playing more showcase type of venues.
Okay.
So that's the only thing I was thinking was maybe they're talking about this a little bit more now. Is what, in 2020 and 2021 especially, more guitars were sold in 2021 than they have been in years. So I think it could have been because some people think because of COVID.
A little bit. Gotta have some part.
Yeah, but there might be a little resurgence as far as rock music and just musicianship goes. So we'll see. I hope this happens. I don't have much to say. I just they talk a lot of stuff, but I'm like, I'm not saying there's not talented people. I just don't want people to get upset with me because there are talent.
It's going to take time though. There's maybe not enough to fulfill where they want to go, but
maybe they can build
it.
It's
a start. That's why I keep saying you have to start somewhere. And I guess the first place is figure out what the problem is, or where you want to go, and what are your obstacles, right? And that's one of the obstacles. But you're never going to build that talent if you don't start talking about it, right?
Well, you're not going to keep anybody here.
True.
And it's kind of you're not going to build talent, but if you do build talent, you're not going to keep it.
Yeah, because there's
without
no place to play, no place to support them. Yeah, they can't support themselves.
Yeah, they can't support themselves, and the thing is, it's like, a long time ago, I realized, well, this life isn't for me to be a musician, so I stayed. But if I had that drive to become a full-time musician, I would have just gone to Nashville or LA or Austin. At the time I was thinking Austin when I was younger, and I went down there, and I was in LA, I was in Austin, and I checked out New York, and I was like, well, I don't want this lifestyle. That was me. Yeah. So, but there are people that are driven. That's where you have to go. You have to go where the work is. And,
yeah, where they're recording,
Yep.
It's just easier. You're never going to get the time of day if you're not there.
Right.
That's awesome. I like to hear it. It's, again, one of those things we hopefully would touch back on in a year or so. And
I'm going to keep an eye on that. I might actually maybe go to one of the meetings and stuff just to see what's going on.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. We are an hour and 15 minutes in. I'm calling for a break.
Okay.
Be right back, guys. All right, we're back. Sorry, folks, but nature calls. All right, so Cleveland music scene. Hopefully we get some good stuff come out of that. I got a couple more stories. We'll go with the one I teased, which apparently, excuse me, there are 2 Cuyahoga County correction officers, Nina Tomlinson and Elizabeth Reeves, who were placed on administrative leave for engaging in unprofessional behavior with inmates. So the surveillance video shows what it looks like as them having a Fight Club style. I'm not sure in the details. There was not many details in the article, but I did see the video, and you could see them up in the corner, almost like they're trying to hide it from the camera, but they weren't quite out of the way. And there's 2 female officers with male inmates lined up, and then the next clip you see is the 2 guys fighting in way up in the top of the corner of the frame. You can barely see who it is, but you can see they're wailing on each other. And then you see a clip of the corrections officer shadow boxing with one of the inmates. So, what the heck is going on? You don't have enough to do there or something.
Well, they're bored.
Well, they're bored, yeah. But I also saw 2 female inmates with, I think, 6 or 7 male, or 2 female guards with 6 or 7 male inmates, which I also was kind of alarming. But
I didn't know female guards in male correction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, that's a thing. I think it's been that way for a while, actually. Just not many that will, do that, I guess, for obvious reasons. But nobody knows really what was going on yet. They're just trying to investigate. I would imagine there's some sort of money changing hands. Otherwise.
Yeah. There's some bets going down.
So,
I have a feeling this is this is probably what the guys want to do.
I mean, they're bored. And I could see the guards saying they're going to fight anyway. Well, let's just let them get it out. Their system controlled.
Right.
But
I could see that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. They're probably having fun.
Probably, but easily get out of hand, I guess you could say, if you're,
well, if you have the right
so funny
guys.
True.
Yeah, there's not enough information. It is funny though.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, there's a Fight Club, but they broke the first rule of Fight Club. I don't understand.
What's that?
First rule of Fight Club is never talk about Fight Club.
Oh, okay. That's right. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah. So that was pretty amusing. I see in your lineup, apparently Canada's mad.
Oh,
Canada's mad, and they put a billboard.
And speaking of,
I got a clip here. You want me to play?
Yeah, please.
And speaking of tears, if you have driven around Cleveland lately, you may have seen this. These billboards have popped up all over the country saying tariffs are a tax on things like gasoline and groceries. At the bottom, it says paid for by the government of Canada. Global Affairs Canada says that this campaign is designed to inform Americans on the impact of tariffs. Senator.
Okay. What about the impact of tariffs on Canadians on their tariffs on us?
Yeah. What about the impacts of Americans with the Canadian tariffs on us, or anybody else who has, like the rest of the world, who will?
It's the dumbest thing. Go ahead with what I don't know which direction you were going to go.
Oh, I was just bringing it up because it's somewhat amusing to me that Canada would spend money to put a sign in Northeast Ohio. Obviously, we're a border state, but I think it's pretty funny. But hey, everything's a negotiation, and if you don't want the tariffs, we get it because we don't want them either.
Yeah, exactly.
Your tariffs.
Yeah. I mean, they're putting like 300% tariff on our milk, on U.S. milk products. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're just trying to
make it fair,
make it a little more fair because they're doing it to protect their industry, but we don't do anything to protect our industry. So
yes,
we're just trying to make it fair.
This is a large reason why there are almost no steel plants left in America. There's very few. Just around us, there used to be a dozen of them. Now there's maybe 2 in the area.
2, barely though.
Barely, and there's barely hanging on, I think.
Yeah.
So I get it. Nobody wants to pay higher prices, but I see the convenient outrage. I don't want prices to go up. Nobody does, but I didn't see anybody. I was told inflation was good a couple of years ago. So now it's not.
That administration was saying it was good.
Yeah. So I get it, but everybody wants American jobs to come back. Everybody wants all this stuff, but nobody wants to do the things, the hard. I mean, there will be some sacrifice to get this manufacturing back to at least some.
This is going to be a punch in the gut for about a month or two, and then it should level off and things should get better. I don't think prices are really going to go up because of tariffs, though. I really don't think so. They have to compete. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
So if we're making a product here in the U.S. and there's one coming from China, that Chinese product really can't go up in price because they still have to compete with the American product. Even though the American product might cost a couple more dollars, it might go up to the same price as the American product. And which one are you going to buy?
So I can
go.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying there's only so much inflation that's going to happen with this. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be like, everything's going up, 25%. It's like they can't because there is competition. And that's what they're trying to leverage, against those companies so those companies start talking to their governments and saying, "Hey, we can't compete. This has to stop." I don't know if I articulated that well enough, but
no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's pressure to put back, so they reduce their tariffs on us, and we'll reduce our tariffs on them. That's the point of of all this is to bring things back to it's never going to be even, I don't think.
No.
But we got to at least, it's out of control. And President believes that we've been taken advantage of for decades, and I could see his point. Definitely. I can tell you what I've seen in my industry, and my company that I work for buys directly from China for a couple of things. And we already had, now these are orders you have to put in months ahead of time because they have to be manufactured. Right. So we put these in months ago, and right before they shipped a couple weeks ago, they put the tariff on. The tariff was increased quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So what we found, though, it's still worthwhile for us to import it than it is to buy it domestically, even with the 25% tariffs.
Right.
It's not anywhere near like it used to be, but it's still worth it. And then the other side of it, we deal a lot with aluminums and stainless steels in my industry, and especially sheet products and stuff. And we announced a 25% increase, flat across the board for all aluminum, and 20 on stainless.
Right.
Because that's what we just got. But what I'm also hearing is, so a manufacturer, we deal with 3 or 4 manufacturers that do make this product, and one of them was told to me that they get 80 to 85% of their raw metal domestically, and those companies have also announced increases along with the tariffs. So that's not how it's supposed to work, I don't think.
Yeah.
I could see an increase later on down the line. So if their demand is going to go up for the domestic product, I can see maybe a reason why you would increase the price. But the demand hasn't gone up yet because the tariffs didn't take effect. So that's what I'm seeing.
Shady right there.
It is. They're being opportunists.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, I could see possibly making a case down the line that, hey, so many people are buying our Americans, that, supply and demand, right? So if the demand goes up and the supply doesn't follow, then the price naturally goes up. I could see that, but we're not there yet. So that's a bunch of crap. So, but it is working, and it's making people take a second look at where they buy stuff. And I get it's going to be painful, but this is not a surprise. This is what he ran on. This is what the people voted for. I know it's weird. It's really strange that a politician would run for office and then get in and actually do the things that they said.
We've never seen that.
This is uncharted territory, as our friend Michael Malice said. Anything beyond here is uncharted territory. We're not even 100 days in. So I understand people may not agree with it, but this is not a surprise. And this is something that Donald Trump has been saying since he was in his 30s, I think.
Yeah, he's been saying since the 80s.
Tariffs, we're getting taken advantage of. And this was back in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not a surprise. This is part of his thinking since he was, since you can remember. So we'll wait and see. And again, everybody's kind of getting spun up for.
Well, yeah, this is a whole episode discussion for a whole episode. Yep. So, but yeah, everybody's getting spun up, and just calm down. It's going to be okay.
Listen to Taylor. Just calm down. All right. I think I have one more story that I stumbled upon late yesterday. I'm debating on subscribing to this Ohio Press Network.
Well, we should go in on that because I was about to.
Because I go 3, 5, and 8, and 19, and they do a good job of it. But every time I go to this website, there's always a story that just sticks out to me that was not anywhere. And that one today would be State Representative Tim Barhorst was joined on the Jack Windsor podcast, which is one of the podcasts on Ohio.
On their network.
Their network, Ohio Press Network.
Yeah, Jack Windsor's a good report.
Jack Windsor, the Windsor Report. And so State Representative was on there to talk about the Ohio Hospital Transparency Act, which I had no idea was even a thing. This is already passed.
I've heard about this. I didn't read into this. Okay.
Yeah, he championed it during the 135th General Assembly, which I believe was last Congress state legislature session. Mm-hmm. And I just thought we'd go over it because I think it could have some possibilities of helping healthcare costs by doing this strange thing, is including competition, which we have zero of. So here is clip 1, the little explanation to what this is.
The law requires hospitals to publicly share standard charges for all services and a user-friendly list of at least 300 shoppable services, like those defined by Medicare and Medicaid. Hospitals can also offer an online price estimator tool. We'll talk about that as well. The bill protects patient data by banning hospitals from selling or using it for targeted ads. And the director of the Department of Health will enforce compliance, issuing fines for violations and maintaining a public list of non-compliant hospitals. We'll call that the naughty list. Does that kind of summarize it for the most part?
Yeah, you did a great job. You're right on cue there with what this bill's supposed to do and how it's going to work.
So basically what he's kind of saying is they want you to be able to compare pricing on obviously not on emergencies because it's coded differently and it's an emergency. So you just need to get to a place, but maybe an urgent care can get you your blood test cheaper, or maybe, you can get testing strips for your diabetes from somewhere else and this and that.
I believe the first Trump administration back in 2016, they were talking about this too.
Yep. And here's a little bit more because he mentioned like an app in some way. So here's kind of what he says about that.
Very quickly and easily go.
And started.
One of the things that you mentioned during the press conference was almost like Expedia for hospitals, right? Do you envision somebody coming along and cobbling together an app or some sort of technology that allows consumers to very quickly and easily go compare prices and compare hospitals?
I do. With technology and geo-tracking and location and all that, I think, somebody could use this for a proactive non-elective surgery to get everything that's going to be involved in that surgery if it were to go normal. And get a very accurate price for that procedure. But the future, I think we'll have urgent cares having information on here, emergency rooms. For those of us that live in rural areas, we kind of know where we want to probably go if there's an emergency. Those in the suburban metro areas probably have a lot more choices. So I hope that someday we can have a full suite that shows every Ohioan where they need to go for non-elective urgent care and emergency services someday.
So
that's very cool.
That would be cool if we can get to work and be accurate, because I believe that is a major problem with our healthcare. Is nobody shops it around.
Well,
there's not much to shop.
Yeah, you just even when you see your bill, you don't know what the hell's going on with it. So this would be really
a big
nice.
Part of it too is be more transparency in the bills and public facing price lists. Basically, is kind of what they said is so that people can see what to expect and who's charging what.
Right.
So hopefully we can get some relief, because
something to keep an eye on. See what happens with this.
Yep. That's about all I got. Anything else you want to touch on, or?
No, I got it. I'm good.
Okay.
I thought we hit it pretty good today.
Yeah, hit all of them pretty good. A lot of stuff going on as usual, and we're just going to try to keep up with it as much as we can. As we go further in this, I did get a URL, so we should have a website shortly, or something that points to something.
Very cool.
Point. I'll leave that.
Maybe one of these days we can get a little blog going.
Yes, that's the idea. And more show notes. We'll work on more of the show notes in the descriptions of the shows. So anyone wants to help, well, I guess we'll give you an email eventually too. Actually, can I give out the email? I can give out the email, can I?
Yeah, why not?
Crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Crookedrivercast@gmail.com. If you'd like to help,
show notes.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes. And if you feel like you want to help the show out with a blog or any technical support, we can talk about it for sure. So if that's all, I think we'll wrap it up here. Let's see if we can do an outro like we did the intro. You ready?
Go for it.
All right. So ideally, I'd be talking, and then I would bring in, and I'd say, Tom, that was a great show. Thank you so much for joining us. and we'll see you next week.
Peace.